As we near the end of the year, I want to share with you some of my favorite things from 2023. So these are things that I discovered were new to me this year. I've purchased them or have watched them or have read them, but they're all new to me within this year. I love when people do videos like this because I think it's great insight into the kind of things that they like, but it also gives me ideas on what maybe I want to buy or read or watch. So I hope you enjoy today's video. I have split the favorite things into two different categories. So one is the entertainment category, which I've got a lot of stuff in there. And then the other one is aptly named random things because it's just a bunch of random things that I somehow fell in love with. If you're new to my channel, my name is Kalyn and I talk about planning, productivity, personal growth, and sometimes fun episodes like this that are just thrown in there. If you still need to do your shopping and gift giving and get organized for the holidays, you might want to grab my Notion Christmas planner with the few weeks that we have left of the year. One of my favorite things is obviously Notion. I talk about it a lot here on this channel, but it's something that I discovered 4 years ago, so it's not necessarily something I'm going to mention today, although I did just squeeze it in there. But today we're digging into all the new discoveries circa 2023, so get ready. This is a good list. The first category is entertainment, and let's talk about the 3 favorite TV shows that I binge watched this year, or actually one of them, I haven't finished all the seasons yet, but I'm getting there. The first one is Outer Banks.
The Outer Banks. Paradise on Earth.
And if you haven't seen this one, it is about a group of teenagers that are trying to find this hidden treasure. And it's also following a storyline between the haves and have-nots of the Outer Banks Islands. I knew I wanted to watch this show, but I also knew I wanted to visit the Outer Banks first, so we did that earlier this year. And then I was able to watch it and just really immerse myself in the Outer Banks experience over the summer because I knew where it had taken place. The second TV show is a recommendation from my friend Michelle, and I will put her YouTube channel link in the description below. She is a great resource for creatives, but it is The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Stop flirting with my sister. Hey, dude, focus.
I had not read the books before I watched the first season. This is a coming of age story about a group of teenagers as well, except it really hones in on the main character, Belly, and this beautiful summer home that they go to every single year. It is a great cast of characters. You'll fall in love with all of them. And I've already binged the second season. And then the third TV show I had not watched. Like, this is, people are shocked when I say this, but it is Gilmore Girls.
I had decided that if I ever went to therapy, I was gonna leave you out of it, but now
I'm going to make out in the coat room. Don't eat my chicken.
that's going on your tombstone.
So Gilmore Girls came out in 2000, which feels like so long ago, and it kind of is, but it is actually quite nostalgic for me because that's when I was in high school, and just to see all the flip phones, and I don't know, it takes me back to that era. But it's such a sweet show. There's 7 seasons. I am almost done with season number 2. But that is a show that I really wanted to watch this fall to just kind of help ease myself from my summer frame of mind into fall, and I have not regretted it. It is a really great show. In the comments, I would love to know what your favorite TV shows are, whether they are old favorites or ones you discovered this year, or if you've watched and loved any of the ones that I recommended. Let's chat in the comments. Now let's get into books. So I'm a huge bookworm. Although I haven't read as many books as I think like mega bookworms have read, I've read about 40 this year. My goal is 50. We'll see if I'm able to finish that goal. But I mainly read on my Kindle. It is just a simple paperweight. I do not like the Amazon Fires because of the screen. The paperweight is more of a page reading experience. And I do use this because I travel in an RV, and so I can't take a lot of books with me, unfortunately, as much as I love books. But I really have fallen in love with my Kindle. And before I get into the books, I will just mention that Kindle Unlimited is like a lifesaver. I didn't think I would read a ton of books through Kindle Unlimited, but they add so many titles that I'm actually interested in. Plus, I found new to me authors that I absolutely love. So if you have a Kindle and you haven't taken advantage of Kindle Unlimited, I'll leave a link below because I think I've used it for the last 3 years. Huge fan. But into the books that I have read. One of my most recent reads was The Maid, and I got this on my public library, so I use the Libby app to be able to connect to my public library back home. But it is the quirkiest set of characters. And if you can't tell, I am just huge into character-driven shows, character-driven books. I think when authors can really write vibrant characters, that is just what I fall in love with. So it's a very quirky character who is a maid, and she stumbles upon a dead body in one of the suites that she is cleaning. And if that sounds like, ooh, like I'm not into thrillers or anything like that, this is not thriller material. This is not horror material. It is like a Clue-like mystery where you don't know who did it. This maid somehow gets wrapped up in this drama, and the writing is stellar. The next book is a little bit of a grittier thriller. So this is the author's Lucinda Berry, and the title was When She Returned. And this was my first Lucinda Berry book. I would say that she is in the same genre as like Ruth Ware, Riley Sager, Lisa Jewell. But in this particular book, it follows Kate, who is an investigative journalist, and she is investigating a cult that she ends up getting herself involved in. They kind of suck her in. So you've got her story plus her family story that she has left behind, and then they come together, and the ending will surprise you and make you angry, and it's just all the feelings with this book. I have one more grittier novel to mention to you, and then I'll get into something for those of you who like really sweet reads. So this third one is The Storyteller by Jodi Picoult. And she is a very heart-wrenching, emotional writer. And this is a dual timeline story that follows in modern day, a girl who is a baker who has descended from Jewish ancestry. Her grandmother was in a concentration camp. And this baker befriends an old man that she later finds out was a Nazi in the same concentration camp that her grandmother was. And it is just a story of so much turmoil as you have this Nazi almost asking for forgiveness. Is there such a thing as an unforgivable action? There's just a lot of philosophical questions going on in this fiction story. The sweet read, book number 4, is Wedding at Sea. This is actually the third book in the Muir Harbor series by Melissa Tagg. But if you want something really sweet, really cozy, highly recommend that you start with Autumn by the Sea. I think that's what it's called. But Wedding at Sea was the third book and was actually my all-time favorite because you get to know the main characters in this third book in the first book, and you kind of see this enemy to lovers trope coming through the entire book. Culminates in book number 3, follows a family drama of a older woman who's adopted these kids. They are now adults, but they help her out. It's small town charm in Maine. So it's really a good series to lose yourself into. And then for a nonfiction read, so this is the last book I will mention, and I like to buy nonfiction books. So this is where I make the exception of buying a paperback book. But this one is written by my friend Felicia Masonheimer, Every Woman a Theologian. It is probably one of the most impactful books in my walk of faith. And I had the incredible opportunity to be able to visit with Felicia over the summer and actually take one of her in-person theology classes. We went through this book chapter by chapter, and the thing that I love most about it is it brings in a lot of different viewpoints so you can decide what you actually believe. And like she says on her book, live it confidently and communicate it graciously. highly recommend that nonfiction book. It also made me really excited to just dive into the different topics and read even more books specifically to what she briefly mentioned in each chapter. Moving into the next two categories under entertainment, podcasts, and YouTube channels, I actually only have one podcast that I loved. I subscribe to a lot, but this one I had to listen to every single episode right away. It was Scamanda. If you are a podcast listener, you probably saw people talk about it. It is about a woman who actually faked cancer. She went through great lengths to stage hospital photos and to even shave her head. She scammed money out of her church and her friends and charities, and it's just a horrific but riveting story. Charlie Webster is the investigative journalist that produces the podcast, and I am so excited to explore more of her work because she does a great job. Two YouTube channels that I discovered this year. So I have 77 YouTube subscriptions. I feel like that's a lot. I definitely don't necessarily watch everything that all of those channels put out. But I discovered Ali Abdal, and I hope that I'm saying his name correctly. He is a productivity expert that just shares his different time management workflows and productivity systems. He loves Notion. He loves to read. He loves to gather all this knowledge to remember what he reads. And I just find all his videos quite fascinating. He talks really fast, so you have to pay attention, but he covers some great topics. And then just for fun, I have a travel channel that I love called Flying the Nest. And this is a family of 4. They travel the globe. They have 2 young kids. And I love watching their travels just as much as I love watching the way they parent their kids. They really are just the sweetest family. They're raising their kids in a lot of different cultures, and I just think they're super inspiring, and their videos are really interesting. Now let's move on to the category random things, which is aptly named because it's not really like a list of all makeup things or clothes things or kitchen things. It's just a conglomeration of things that I discovered and used and bought for the first time. Starting with some unmentionables. This smoothing bra from Amazon is incredible. It has changed my life. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I was influenced to buy it from Cassie at High Sugar Plum, and I saw her mention it a few times, and I was like, you know what? It's on Amazon. It's really not that much. Let me just try it. There's no underwire to it. It's like the comfiest bra I've ever owned, and so I cannot wait to buy more. It's super smoothing. You can wear it under t-shirts. It is a good purchase. And by the way, I'll obviously leave links to all of these below so you can go add them to your Amazon cart, because I think most of these you could purchase on Amazon. Yeah, except for a couple. The next thing are these Celsius caffeine packs, and I know like maybe it sounds really bad that you are taking caffeine, but I don't drink coffee, and so I need something to help keep me awake when there are days that I didn't sleep well and I'm not feeling it. And so I don't have these every day, but I do have them almost every day. However, I wanted to be really careful about the ingredients. I didn't want aspartame in it. I didn't want high fructose corn syrup. I didn't want extra sugar. Like, it took me a while to find a caffeine pack that was from a good source of caffeine. This one is from Green Tea. There's 14 packs in here, and I just use a half a pack a day. I think one pack is equal to 1 cup of coffee. So that's what I do. Just half a pack. Joseph and I share one, and it helps keep us functioning. Tell me you're an adult without telling me you're an adult, because this next one are dishwashing gloves. How can you have a favorite pair of dishwashing gloves? Welcome to your mid-30s. So I bought those on Amazon. It's part of a 3-pack. I have some eczema issues on my hand. It's actually a lot better now than it was earlier in the year. I've done a lot of creams. I've tried to do so many things, change my diet, etc. And one of the things that helped it from not getting worse were wearing gloves while I was washing the dishes. And these just have a really nice cotton interior. I think is it cotton? Maybe I don't know, it's just really soft, keeps your hands dry, they don't sweat, and they're really thick and durable and comfy. I live and travel in an RV, so I'm not flying a lot of different places, but I do fly to my parents' house where they live in New York. To do that, I want to stay really organized, and I finally jumped on the packing cube train. I bought this pack on Amazon. I think it came with a whole bunch. I don't even know if this is all of them, but they are in different sizes, and so you can pack like all your shirts in one and all your pants in the other and just keep everything really organized. I also feel like it does, even though they're not the compression packing cubes, which I definitely want to try some of those, I do think they help save space. Just because you're not throwing everything into your luggage, you're actually being really organized and meticulous about how you're arranging everything. This next one is a trick I learned from a YouTube video, and if I remember what it was, I will link the creator below. But she said to buy a nude lip liner and use that before you put on lipstick for the day. And the reason why I discovered her and actually found this trick is because I feel like in my mid-30s and as I'm getting older, my lips are just disappearing into my face. But I don't want this really vibrant lip liner either. So she's like, get a new lip liner. And so I did, and I feel like it really works. It lasts almost all day, and it's very easy to put on, and I don't feel like if I mess up, it's gonna be like this major clown face look. So that's a trick I'm sharing with you. If you feel like you just need a little bit of extra on the lips and your lipstick isn't covering it, try a nude lip liner. This one is L'Oreal Color Rich and Au Naturel. And then the last random thing, so this Ashley Shelley notebook, so in all full disclosure, I did not buy this. Ashley is a friend and she sent it to me to try. I was saving it for something special, and in May of this year, I decided to go from my disc-bound planner back into a bullet journal type notebook. So I don't bullet journal in this traditionally like you would bullet journaling, but I do use it for daily to-do lists. I use it for random notes and things. I've tabbed different sections that I want to reference really quickly, but I do have to say it is truly luxurious. There's also cute little hearts on the bottom of each of the pages. The cover is just so soft and smooth. I really, really love these notebooks and highly recommend anything that my friend Ashley puts out. She does a lot of planner type products, budget products, notebooks, obviously. And so I'll leave a link to her shop below so you can check her out. Of course, this video is not going to be nearly as fun if you don't share your favorite things in the comments. So meet me there next and leave a podcast, YouTube channel, book, TV show, movie, or even a random thing that you discovered or purchased in 2023. And if you liked this video and thought it was a fun change from our normal content schedule, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you in the next one.